Hi guys, welcome back to Pro Styles Academy. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the highs, the lows, the pitfalls, the joys, everything there is to running a multi-six-figure hair extension salon and a hair extensions brand. If you are someone who wants to open up your own salon, someone who's got a salon, you're going to be able to resonate with a lot of stuff that I'm going to talk about. Or if you're someone who's just a little bit nosy and wants to know what it's like, then just keep watching because I'm going to be dropping it all. So I'm Mayanda, I'm the owner of House of Hair UK. We're a West London hair extension salon that specialises in alternative hair extensions for people who've got textured hair. So we're talking about micro links, Brazilian knots, tape-ins, keratin fusion hair extensions, all those alternative ones that you typically see in a European salon. We provide the textured hair and we take on a client base who have got a wide range of different textures, who are often kind of like isolated from this type of hair extensions or these types of services. So I've been running my salon now for over 10 years. I had a very small boutique. 6 years ago, I moved it into this much larger space with 13 members of staff, including a receptionist, stylist, an admin person, and even a marketing person. Let's get into it, guys. Let's talk about what it's like to run such a big business, well, big business for me, and all of the highs and lows, pitfalls, everything that you're gonna experience while you're in it. I've made a little list, so I'm gonna be going through it. The first thing I want to talk about is the client's transformations. I think it's the most important part of our business, and it's what brings our stylists back, it's what brings the customers back, and it brings just constant joy when you can see the transformation that you're giving to clients. The reason why I specialize in alternative hair extensions is because not everyone likes braids, not everyone likes weaves, not everyone likes wigs. Some people have medical reasons why all of those services are not suitable for them, and some people just want more flexibility and versatility with their hair options. So this is why I've done these services. Now, I am telling you, when I done them, it was all for vanity reasons. When I started this business, I love long hair. I love to be able to tie it up in a ponytail. So I was offering these hair extensions to mainly European clients until I was able to come across more textured hair, maybe like 10 years ago. I've been in the industry for about 20 years, but about 10 years ago is when I decided that I was gonna do it more for textured hair. The transformations that you can provide for people are absolutely life-changing. And I genuinely mean that. We've got people who've got super fine hair, who have recently had like chemical damage and we've had to do weaves on their hair. We've got people who have had like a big chop done by their stylist and they're looking to get their length back. We've got people who have recently gone through treatment and their hair is super thin and they want to add something in it to just bring them back to their old self. So our hair extensions can add a little bit of volume and a little bit of length. And we've had I can't even tell you how many people we've had burst into tears because they are so grateful and so happy for the transformation that we have provided for them. I think it gives so much joy to myself and the stylist, and it keeps us being passionate about the actual work that we're doing. So the transformations that you can provide from doing these hair extensions, or that we provide, is life-changing, and it is one of the biggest reasons why we love what we're doing. Speaking of transformations, I remember once when we done a client's hair, right? She had been wearing braids for a really long time. She took her braids out and she relaxed her hair. She felt like her hair was super thin and she didn't know what to do with it. So she came in for LA Weave hair extensions, right? When I tell you, this girl was buzzing. She was absolutely buzzing. As soon as she got the hair extensions in, she was like, let's do some before and after pictures, let's do this. She was so excited about how her hair looked, very natural, but had extra volume and extra length. She absolutely loved it. I'm telling you, this girl came in 4 weeks later to get her wash and blow dry, and she said when she left the salon to get on the train to go home, she ended up talking to a guy, got his telephone number, and they had been on 3 dates. When I tell you, hair extensions transforms you from the inside out. When you get these hair extensions in your hair, the way that these clients be bouncing through these doors is just incredible. I just wanted to share that story with you so you guys can know why transformations are so important. The next thing I want to touch on is job creation. So I have 13 members of staff, a receptionist, junior stylist, hair extensionist, senior hair extensionist, an admin person, and I've got a freelance content creator and a freelance marketing person who runs all of my website and social media and so on. So having the ability to create over 13 different jobs for people, it does something to you. Now, I know some people could be very ego-centered and feel like I'm the big boss, I've created all these jobs for people. But for me, it goes way deeper than that. Having the ability to make sure that people's phone bills are paid, make sure that people can buy their essentials, and just make sure that they've got an income in a place and an environment that they enjoy working in. It does something to you. It makes you feel like you can take on the world. It makes you feel like you are putting your stamp on the world and that you are making a change. Now, I know that that sounds very dramatic, but in my tiny bubble of the world, which is my West London salon, and the 13 girls that actually work for me, because it is all girls, the 13 women that work for me, I have been able to change their life. So many of them speak about the fact that they worked in a work environment where, they came through on their menstrual cycle and their boss was like, put a t-shirt around you, you're not going anywhere. And they talk about the experiences of working for really horrible people and then also having really horrible colleagues. Now, when you come in here, don't get me wrong, it's all females. They do have some drama, but majority of the girls inside the space actually genuinely enjoy working with each other. They enjoy the clients, they enjoy the environment, and all of that was created by me. I just think that it's incredible, and I just wanted to talk about when you're thinking about establishing a business or a brand, think about the people that you're going to bring along on that journey with you. Are they going to be having the same values, the same morals as you? Do they actually align with your vision for your actual brand? If they do, then keep those people, hold on to them for dear life, and make sure that if you've got people who they don't the same values as you and they don't actually see what it is for your vision, or they're hating on your vision, that they are dead weight and they're people that you need to get rid of. Having a good staff team who genuinely love and support you is so important. This is going to segue into having a staff team and how that can actually be so debilitating inside your business. So let's talk about it, right? So this current staff team that I've had have been here for about 2.5 years. And I would say 2.5 years ago, I had to get rid of nearly 30% of my staff team. I think it was like 4 or 5 people that I got rid of or who left the building because I kind of just pushed them out. And it's because I had a very, very toxic staff team where it was like a lot of playground bullying and people really thought that they could deal with me as a business owner however they wanted. I had complete imposter syndrome as my business scaled quite quickly, and I felt like I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And my staff team could see that. I was very unorganized. I wasn't consistent in my approach in managing my staff team, and I had very few systems. It was kind of like, I'll just decide today if this scenario comes up. Now that I've reinvented my business, reinvented me, and I've got a whole new staff team who know me as this person I am today, not the person who had the tiny little space with 2 members of staff, the person that I am today, how I deal with conflict, how I deal with my customers, how my expectations of my members of staff, my whole recruitment process from the moment that you have an interview is very regimented, very strict, and very organized. The new staff team, they don't play with me. They don't play with me, and that doesn't mean to say that I'm very aggressive or I'm harsh or I'm rude. I just have very, very clear boundaries and expectations of how you show up for this business once you walk through this door, what the customers expect from you, what I expect from you, and what you should be expecting of yourself. I've always supported my staff team to deal with, do their own little side hustles, generate any kind of income that they wanted. In my salon, I can't pay you £50 an hour, otherwise my business would crumble. Yet people can't survive on the salary alone, especially the young girls that I've got, hot girls who want to be able to afford the luxuries of life. 2 of them have got their own hair extensions brands. 1 of them has got their own edge control, mousse and wax business, like for hair, that she sells as well. And I've encouraged them all the way through. And I think when new people come into the business and they see that, they see I'm very boundaried, I'm very strict with how you show up for my business, but I'm going to give you advice and encouragement when it comes to you building up your own brand. I'm okay with members of staff leaving the business as long as they are going on to do something bigger and better. If you are leaving here to go and work for the person next door, I'm going to be disappointed in myself and disappointed in our relationship and how that evolved. If you are leaving to go and open up your own salon space, do your own business, travel the world as a stylist, or moving on to a completely different industry because you just don't feel like you're doing hair, then I feel like we've achieved something. I don't believe in burning bridges. Every single person who comes through this door, whether you leave on good terms or bad terms, we are going to reconnect and we're going to make sure that everything is going to be squashed and going to be fine. Having a staff team will be the make or break of your business, and it is such an emotionally draining and taxing part of your business. You need to make sure that you've got staff who align with your brand, and if you do, it can feel somewhat smooth sailing as opposed to feeling like you're drained every single day. The things that I want to touch on when it comes to actually managing a staff team is going to be the staff dynamics and managing different personalities. When I tell you, I have had some drama with members of staff, different dynamics and different personalities, to the point that we had to close our salon and have a day of everybody just hashing out what the issues that they had. I had 5 members of staff who all had issues with each other and then all had issues with one collective person. And as a result, we nearly had a full-on fight. If I can find the footage from the CCTV camera, I am definitely gonna put it in here so that you guys can see how it nearly turned into an all-out fight with a member of staff getting up from across the room and going to attack another member of the staff. When I tell you, I felt like I was gonna close down my entire business. And if you want another video where I'm talking about how I actually resolved that conflict and what I actually done, then leave a comment down below and I'll try and do another video. I'll try and rehash the drama of that experience and how I was able to actually manage it. Talk about one of the struggles and one of the stresses that I found personally when it comes to running a hair extensions business, multiple members of staff, and just juggling lots of different things.
We have a training academy where I and a couple of my members of staff offer training to other salons and other hairdressers. We have an online store that is also listed in a platform that is called Superdrug. They're an actual high street shop, but they have an online marketplace, and we're listed on Superdrug. We're also on TikTok shop, and then I have the actual salon as well.
There's a lot of different things for me to juggle. And I tell you, one of the biggest struggles that I have faced with running a business like this is being the final say. Now that sounds like it would be a good thing, right? Being the final say of everything and every decision that happens. But when the final say is something as small as we need to grab some new scissors, or what type of toilet roll should we be getting, let's be honest, down to should I call an electrician because I feel like something's wrong with the light, all the way to this person needs to be fired because they're coming in late constantly, or having to deal with conflict between a member of staff and a customer. Having to be the person who is the final say so and not having anyone who is like a managing director inside my company is absolutely draining. When I tell you, it is one of the most difficult things. There's never a day that goes by where I don't have to deal with something that is related to the business. And I have a receptionist who literally is the salon manager. I have a business administrator who deals with all of the HR stuff, but they still feel that they need to run a lot of things by me. And it could perhaps be that I'm micromanaging and I need to step away physically. I've stepped away physically already, but it might mean that I need to step away a little bit more in the management side of it and leave them to deal with the operations. I'm not quite sure if I'm there yet, because a lot of mistakes still get made, but maybe I need to empower the members of staff a little bit more to know that they can actually run the operations, just to free up a little bit more of my mental space, because it is definitely one of the things when you start to scale your business and you're the final say of absolutely everything. It is one of the things that will really drain you. And even when you are abroad and you're trying to take a break away from your business, you still feel like your mind is still present there. So when you are scaling a business, take out some time for yourself. Make sure that you're employing people who are confident to manage the business for you, should you need to step away from it for an emergency or purely just to relax. Video's getting super long, so I will talk about now the finances. Now, when you start a business and you're scaling your business, you feel like you want to spend on everything, right? You want to spend on your staff. You want to bring in new edge controls. You want to bring in new hair straighteners. You want to employ new people. You want to pay for more advertising. You want to spend, because your bank account is looking fat. But you are not used to all of those reoccurring payments that are inevitable and have to be paid, such as your taxes. When my business scaled to be in over 100K, we then had to start paying VAT. It's 25% or 20% of every single thing that you earn, whether you sell a hairbrush or whether you do someone's full relaxer and LA weave hair extensions. Every single bit of revenue that comes into your business, 20% of it has to go to the tax man. And realizing that and understanding that and knowing what your books are, being able to juggle your finances is going to be so crucial to your business. Another thing that is crucial to your business is making sure that you've got an accountant who is on board with you and who is able to give you advice and assistance as you go along and you grow. I had an accountant. She was a lovely lady, and I was so happy that I'd employed her because she was a young black lady who had her own accountancy business. It was a very small business, and I was really happy to get them on board. And when I tell you, it was the worst mistake that I ever made. There were some months or some quarters where she would tell me that my VAT looked like it was going to be around 9,000 to 11,000. I would make sure that I saved up the 9,000 to 11,000, and then one of the bills came in at £26,000, and that happened multiple times. She didn't even know that some of the services, like the hair loss services and the education stuff, didn't need to be VAT. They are exempt from VAT services. So she'd pile on all of these services. Hair loss services are our most expensive treatment. And she would add all of those, that was thousands and thousands of pounds a month. She would add them to the VAT. So I was paying all of this VAT for services that I didn't need to. And it absolutely crippled me emotionally. And it's taken me over 18 months to recover financially. So make sure that you have some knowledge of your own finances, and make sure that you hire an accountant who knows your strengths and your weaknesses and is able to guide you through the process of your bookkeeping, your recruitment, your spending, everything that there is to do with the operations of your business financially. You need an accountant who's going to be on board and be able to help you with it. Otherwise, you could end up closing down your business. Another thing that I find quite challenging with running a business is always having to think ahead. constantly being on the go and constantly trying to reinvent your business. Now, I'm not saying that our business is not established and that we're not one of the pioneers of alternative hair extensions when it comes to the UK and London. We are. All of the hair extensionists that you see in Birmingham, in Manchester, and other areas of London, if they deal with textured hair, they were either inspired by my brand, I'm just gonna keep it real, they were either inspired by my brand or they actually physically came and had training with me and I've helped them to grow their brand. So I'm aware that our business is already well established. But if we don't keep reinventing ourselves and if we don't keep pivoting forward and doing different things, being creative, then we are just gonna stay static, and everybody who I've trained, all of the newbies, are gonna come and overpass me because I'm staying here and they're continuing to reinvent themselves. So as a business owner, as someone who was a pioneer, who was a leading in this hair extensions industry when it comes to textured hair, I have to stay on top of it. I have to look at new services, new products, and new things that are out there and make sure that I'm bringing them into my hair extensions business. And that can be extremely exhausting. It can be very tiring and it can be quite costly, especially if your brand does not have money or has dealt with recent financial struggles like my brand. So that is one of the things that I've really struggled with. And I think for 2024, I realized that it's okay for me to take a step back, and that actually, if those people who are trained students by me or other hair extensionists who are inspired by me actually come and surpass me, that's okay. That's okay. We're not going to stress about it. We're not going to try and constantly be striving, because what that does is it just takes the joys out of building your business. It takes the joys out of operating your business. So I no longer care. I'm no longer in that rat race, or I'm no longer trying to compete with other people who are in the same business as me. I want to see them win just as much as I want to see myself win, but I no longer feel like I have to be on the constant go and I have to constantly be chasing. Let's talk about the customers. So earlier I spoke about how much I absolutely adore the customers, offering transformations, completely life-changing. But let's talk about the asshole customers that you end up facing or experiencing or having to deal with when it comes to your salon business. Those people who are just out to complain. Do you know how many customers we face coming through the doors and you're like, hi, welcome to House of Hair UK, how are you doing today? And they're like, I've come for LA Weave. Their expectation of a predominantly black salon space has already made them perceive us as being this kind of standoff, rude and ignorant type of salon. So they think that they're coming in with that energy. And I've had to vigorously train my staff to make sure that they go above and beyond and kill them with kindness so that they leave here with a completely different impression of a predominantly black salon space. And historically, that experience of going into a black salon is that you get ignored, the person's eating food over your head, they don't come on time, they're doing multiple people at the same time. And so the experience of going into a salon, you are not getting Prosecco, you've not got a trolley at the back with all your biscuits and sweets and chocolates and things that you can eat, you're not getting hot chocolate with your marshmallows and things. So I made sure that I wanted to create an environment that was a safe space and a space where black women could just feel like they are pampered and loved on. Some people just do not want it. Some people just do not want it. You will find that when you are reinventing your salon, boundaries and really clear policies and procedures are a must. Before you even start advertising your new service and your price list and everything, it is a must that you make sure that you have boundaries around your cancellation policies and you have consultations. I will do a whole other video on consultations. In fact, I'm 100% going to do a video on consultations, whether you are offering braids, hair extensions, hair loss services, it doesn't matter what you're offering. If you are a hair and beauty professional, the consultation is the most crucial part of your business, because without it, the expectations and your results are going to be completely different than what that client actually wants. So you have to make sure that you have a very thorough consultation so that you and your client are aligned with what the outcome is going to be. So dealing with customers who have got a bad attitude, who do not want to problem solve at all, they do not want to find a solution, they just want to complain, is one of the most difficult things that you will deal with in your business. It got me so bad that I started having anxiety around it, because I had a staff team that were very combative and wanted to argue with customers. My newer staff team, completely different. We're all about solution focused and we want to solve the problem. But back 2 years ago, when I had a very competitive staff, they would would fuel the fire and then they would step away and I'd have to step in because I'm the owner of the business. I used to sit outside in my car, breathing for 5 to 10 minutes, building up the courage to one, come in and face my staff team when I had a very horrible staff team, and then one, have to deal with the clients. If I ever saw an email that said, Islander, because they would always get my name wrong, is it possible to speak to the owner of the business? I would always get butterflies in my stomach because I think, oh my Lord, is this going to be another complaint? And it could be a brand that wants to collaborate with me, or it could be a client who just wants to talk about how amazing their service was. But I just had it ingrained in my head that everything was going to be negative because I dealt with so much conflict and stress within inside my business. And I tell you how I deal with conflict now when it comes to customers is if someone has a problem with the service or the quality of the hair or anything like that inside of our business, I have a contingency pot. I protect my energy. I will only go back and forth with you so far. We are not going to carry this out for days, weeks, months, and years. I'm also extremely mindful of how much money people part ways with in my actual business. Now, if you can imagine someone flying in from Italy to come and get hair extensions done, they could have flown wherever they wanted in the world. They could have flown wherever they wanted in the UK and gone to a hair extension salon, but they actually decided to part ways with their money and actually come to my salon. So I always approach everything with an element of respect and have an understanding that they didn't need to come to my service and they chose to. So therefore, I am going to respect them and we are always going to resolve it. Sometimes that will result in a full refund. Sometimes that will result in additional treatments. Whatever it is that they need, I'm going to make sure that they get it. I could most definitely continue this video forever and ever talking about the highs and lows of running a multi-six-figure hair extensions business. But guys, I want you to be in the comment section sharing your dreams, your horror stories of running your own hair business or your hair and beauty business. Let's chop it up inside the comment section. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you know anyone who could benefit from watching a video like this, then make sure you share it. Hit the notification bell so that you're notified anytime I post new content. And thank you so much for watching.